Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the Mastermind, or what they call me, the Mastermind, Sal. And on the other line, we got the big guy, the big man, Rich.
What's up, guys?
And we're right here. This is, again, the RSN Wrestling Podcast. We actually have our third member, right, Rich? We have another member, of course, right?
Yeah, he is the head writer of this one site that gives you the best segment by segment, play by play of any mainstream big company, even the little guys. I can't remember his name.
Well, it's not just any site, right? I know it's a very good, reputable site that is not kind of like any journalistic site that's covering wrestling mostly. It's basically like a site that goes in depth, that's very, very descriptive about what's going on and things like that nature. But yeah, no, you're right. You're talking about the guy that runs it, right? I forgot his name too. Still trying to think.
Who? Who?
Who? Who? Well, I
Oh,
think
his name is
you know about now, right?
V. Nick Lopez.
It's Nick.
Grr.
It's Nick. It's Nick Lopez, of course. So we have our third member. This is the reason why it's called the RSN Wrestling Podcast. R stands for Rich, me, S as an S, and an N, Nick Lopez. Like I said, we spell wrestling. If you see the word wrestling, you see R, S, and N all together in wrestling. So we spell wrestling. But like I said, we have that kind of stuff. And I know, Rich, you run also the Twitter page also, right? That we have, right?
Yeah, it's www.twitter.com/at RSN podcast.
It's at RSN Podcast. That's Twitter handle indeed also. So on one hand, you got of course Rich doing his thing, but digging up all the things and everything like that in regard to what's going on with the whole storyline wise and everything like that, going deep, going into WWHQ and finding those things out before it hits the internet. Then after you have PWO on the other side, which is just going ahead and doing pretty much more and more of the reaction side of what's going on, giving in depth like a what's called specific review of basically what's going on and everything
So
like that.
segment by segment.
If you look on our videos, we have pretty much a lot of videos. We got like different topics. We also did recently a Royal Rumble reaction. So, uh, checking from there to now, a lot has changed, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, a lot.
A lot of things have changed. I mean, one of the biggest things right now, of course, Samoa Joe debuted, as we talked about in the last podcast, and then next thing you know, he's putting him in chokehold, the Gokina clutch, and then next thing you know, pop. What happens? Seth Rollins is injured. He's
The
on the
same
books.
exact the same exact knee he injured last year at a house show.
It's a medial collateral ligament tear. They said tear. So his whole MCL was torn off the bone. They said that's how bad it is. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Rich? What do you think about this?
You can't really blame Samoa Joe for this though. It was just the awkward way that Seth landed.
So, would you say that Seth Rollins is fragile?
You can't really say that. It's just the way that you could turn the wrong way and you could dislocate something.
That's right. I
So it was
mean,
just the way that he landed.
right.
You
That's
can't
true.
really blame anyone or say that he's fragile.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think it's basically just because of the fact that uh, I think that of course, a lot of things happen. Things can go wrong, and I guess that was just one of the circumstances. They had this whole thing planned out, and then this little bump or this hiccup came up. But well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that whole kind of deal? Where, let's say, of course, of course, that injury happened, and it was very tragic, and of course, the wrestling industry is thinking, okay, so what does that mean for the whole plan for Triple H? What do you feel like is going to happen for that?
Well, they're saying that Seth could return, but I don't think they're going to take a chance.
So they're saying that he can return by Mania,
Yeah,
really, and well, I think they projected that his whole injury might take a while to get over, right?
yeah. But they said it could be earlier. But if I'm them, I wouldn't take the chance.
Right. I think one of the biggest news that came out of that week was that, of course, what's his name? Of course, they had an emergency meeting, talking about what's going on, everything like that. What are they gonna do moving forward? And then that kind of brought out like a whole kind of, you know, uproar about basically what's gonna happen. Um, but I mean, it's kind of tragic to see that, right? Because it's like it's heartbreaking. He missed.
If you
They
think
had this
about
whole
it,
special. What happened?
if you think about it, if he returns early, who else is known for returning early and then getting injured?
Finn Balor,
I was thinking John Cena.
John Cena, really?
Tears his rotator cuff. Is supposed to
Oh,
be
right.
out 6 months. Comes back in 4.
Hmm.
Gets hurt again.
But here's the thing. I mean, that's kind of a very severe injury though. Like the knee is probably one of the like hardest joints to recover from. Look at like all the wrestlers, every single anybody that has any kind of torn or like like kind of leg injury, it took a while. Look at Triple H for example, torn quads, two of them nearly commissioned him out of the out of the business. It was crazy. There was a point where he was almost about to call it quits.
Look at
You know,
Kevin
it's like
Nash.
Kevin Nash too. Kevin Nash, Vince
How many
McMahon,
times did he tear his quad?
yeah, the master of torn quads. That's what they call him. But then look at of course Vince
Kevin Nash
McMahon,
wakes
things
up
like
in the
that.
morning and he tears his quad.
Yep. Takes out the garbage, tears his
Tears his
quad,
quad.
all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. But it's like I mean to see that. I mean if he does come back, that'd be pretty good. Of course, people will be happy. But I mean
But at
think
the
about
same
this.
time,
He
it
missed
would be
WrestleMania.
bad, depending how long it takes him to actually come back.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be crazy. Though. I mean like. But do you think he's gonna have like do you think they're gonna give Seth that time to come back and everything like that? Do you think they'll be able to rush him for Mania?
Depends how quick he actually heals.
I think. Well, what do they project? Do you know how much time do they project?
I heard 3 different time schedules. I heard
Really,
4 to 6 weeks. I heard 3 to 4 months. I heard 4 to 6 months.
3 to 4 months, 4 to 6. Yeah, I heard 4 to 6 months. I think, but it's like it kind of takes him out of the picture for Mania. I mean, Mania is in April, right? So we got the
And
whole
it's
month of
gonna be
February.
this. It's gonna be the second Mania in a row he missed.
Yeah, that's gonna be tragic. I mean, think about it. They had this whole special on WWE Network where he was talking about how he was having his return and everything like that. He showed up for he was there for WrestleMania 32 backstage and things like that. Sad, and it was like it was sad to see that he's like he wanted to be a part of that, but he couldn't unfortunately. And now to have this happen again, that kind of fucks up your mindset, don't you think?
Right before Mania.
Right before Mania, indeed. Also, that's another thing. The biggest show, and I think WWE too. Is like this guy injures people. He's getting, he gets injured very easily. Well, this is like a second time in the same spot. But it's like doesn't it kind of put the target on him? It kind of doesn't it kind of say, okay, this guy might not be the guy we want to follow. Maybe someone we don't want to put all our faith in.
But if you look at his talent, you're saying to yourself, this guy is the person we want to put the company in.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Tyler Black is probably one of the best talents they got right now. Why not? It's like come on, and I think they can use this as like I think when they saw this, they said, "Okay, oh fuck, it's fucked up." But then at the same time, in the back of their head, I think everybody was thinking this can be good too. Because think about it, this can help further the storyline after he comes back, or things like that. What'd you say?
Hmm.
Just about to see, of course. Yeah,
It's just a matter of time.
yep. Well, I know your boys, the club. They won the World Tag Titles at the Royal Rumble, right?
Well, before we go on to that,
Yeah.
from us at the RSN podcast to you, Seth Rollins, we wish you a very quick and speedy and healthy recovery.
Indeed, we do. I mean, but do you feel like for a moment that it's a work?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of being a work. Like they're kind of fooling the fans into making a big deal and things like that. It could be. I mean, you never know. But I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if out of nowhere he just comes out after a month? The same situation where you're talking about John Cena too, right? Like it's the same kind of thing. That'd be kind of dope,
Oh,
right?
if they do that, that would be the biggest freaking swerve ever.
I know. That I mean, we'd be kind of like, what the fuck? But at the same time, it's like it brings you back to those days where wrestling was unpredictable. Like, holy crap, that's that can happen.
Right?
Holy goddamn.
For example, look at the Rumble.
Yeah, the Rumble too. I mean, well, with the Rumble, I know we were critical. We said that not much happened. It was kind of like, what the hell, it's fucked up. This that. I mean, but specifically, I know you were talking about. Of course, we heard about the club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson winning the World Tag Titles. What are your thoughts on that and this whole thing going on and everything?
Too sweet me, bro.
Too sweet all day. We agree with that, right? I think
Of
it's gold.
course.
I think it's gold. I think Carl Anderson
I
and
think it was
they
about
deserve.
time.
Yeah, it's been almost what, a year since they've been in WWE. Nearly, right?
Uh, a little less than a year.
Yeah, and they're World Tag Champs. That's kind of crazy, right? To think that the
When
same
you look
guys
at
that
it,
were
what did AJ do in less than a year?
win the WWE title and beat up John Cena, right?
What did the club do in less than a year?
Beat up John Cena and win the tag titles too.
Exactly.
Yep, that's right. And the thing was always beat up John Cena. That was the first thing. Then win the titles.
Hey, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Beat up John Cena. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna wake up, kiss my fiance, go to work, come home, and then beat up John Cena.
Beat up John Cena. Well. Speaking of John Cena and of course Nikki Bella, I don't know if you heard about the supposedly like when I heard about this, it made me think. Okay, I know who this is. Who is the producer behind this match? Supposedly, I think I'm hearing that
Um,
it's the big main
can
event.
I take a guess?
Yep,
Uh, Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn. Yes. That's the big what you call it? The big answer right there. The big answer right there. It's true. And I think about this. Think about this. Supposedly, one of the biggest things that happen right now is, of course, Nikki Bella and John Cena versus the Miz and Maurice. Now think about that. Think about that situation. They're trying to make that a plan, rather than having John Cena face the Undertaker, AJ Styles, maybe Randy Orton, maybe Bray Wyatt for the belt. They put him into this kind of thing. What are your thoughts on that? The first thing that hits you.
Is it bad that I'd rather watch TNA wrestling than watch that match?
That's true. I'd rather watch Eva Marie wrestle. I want to see Eva Marie come back. Then I'd rather see
Was
Eva Marie come back at Mania.
well, speaking of her, from what I'm hearing, she's actually done with the company,
Really? So she's out.
supposedly.
Let's throw a party. The RSN Wrestling Podcast. And if you look at our logo, it's always red. In tribute to Eva Marie, we do that. If
Not
she
really.
does. Oh yeah, fuck that. Hell
Not
no.
really.
Hell no. Fuck that shit. We're going all red because Eva Marie's leaving. Fuck that. Hell no. And if that is a fact, then here's one message that we're gonna say.
Thank the Lord.
Guess what? Guess what?
What?
RSN Wrestling, all of us right here, are all vegan. If that's the case.
We do not wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Indeed. Because we're vegan. And of course vegans like to say they're vegan, but at the same time, they're not like Eva Marie, who go around Twitter talking about I'm the best wrestler in the world. Meanwhile, you got other divas looking at them going, "Ha, get the fuck out of here." So
Let's see. You have Alexa Bliss. You have Naomi,
Cameron,
Tamina.
Cameron, you can put Cameron, someone that's not even in the WWE anymore. Someone, the same person that said Alicia Fox
I
versus, yeah.
I doubt that because if you remember, she tried to pin Naomi while Naomi was face down.
Oh right, I remember that. Well, still, I mean,
So
nothing. I think anything's better than Eva Marie. But yeah, we'll have to see
my
from there. But
my 3.5-year-old niece is a better wrestler than Eva.
I'd rather see Emelina come back. What about Emelina?
Look what he put on Instagram. A whole bunch of pictures of me and Michael just because Michael blocked him on
Do
Instagram.
you
And he
think she's
goes,
gonna
me
come
on
back?
face. Now, if Michael sees that, Michael can stop fighting with me.
I doubt it. To be
Emelina,
honest,
supposedly. Yeah.
I think it's all work.
And he tagged me in it.
You think it's just a work to get us
My
built up?
favorite couple since the other one blocked me. But he tagged me in
Well, I think
Because
it's one thing
how long has she
also
been debuting for?
since I think what, September or October.
Something like that.
since last year. So it's like, when's she coming already? She's not
Was it
coming.
before SummerSlam or after?
I think after SummerSlam, because that's when she got injured. I remember, right?
It was right before Zack Ryder got hurt.
Ah, right. I remember. Right. You're right.
I think it was like a couple days apart or something.
Yeah, I think I remember. Right. But
I think it was
I mean, it kind of
Emma.
makes sense.
I think it was Emma and then Zack.
Like Emma first and then Zach. I think because
It
Emma
was
had
a
the back problems.
it was a couple day difference. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, what about this thing with Paige supposedly trying to become a MMA fighter? Because you got to think about this. Zack Ryder and Emma are a couple, but now, of course, Paige. There's a lot of things going on. What are your thoughts on that? And what are you hearing so far?
To be honest, I think she should.
To be an MMA fighter?
I think so.
Well, what else have you heard about Paige? I don't know if you heard anything else about her and what WWE is trying to do.
That from here, she's supposed to be coming back as a wrestler, but then the whole MMA thing. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Well, there's rumors that, of course, I think that she was supposed to have a release because she's fed up with WWE, but that's not happening. And then, of course, they got this whole thing with, of course, I'm hearing that about like WWE is interested in making a movie about her whole life.
Why?
It's like I don't understand. It's like really you're gonna go ahead and just do that. Come on. I think they're just gassing her up. That's all. What are your thoughts on this? Also, this past week on Raw, the Mojo came out, made his debut. What do you feel about that?
Everyone knows how big of a fan I am of him, so I was very excited
And they were main eventing. That was kind of crazy. He main evented the show against
against
none
the
other than
piece of
Roman
shit.
Reigns. Yeah, piece of shit Roman Reigns, Vince's favorite. But it was kind of surreal to see that, wasn't it? Like there was a point where I was scratching my head saying, "Is this for real? Like, is this real life?" I was like, "Holy shit, this can't be happening." But you
Well,
see
here's a question for
Samoa
you: was Vince and Kevin Dunn in heaven watching that match?
definitely they probably were for sure.
What were they doing backstage?
Probably jacking off to Roman Reigns on a monitor, of course. But then but think about this. I think there was so much, like so many times where they're trying to tease that match, but it just never happened. Because it's like, is that really gonna happen? Are they really gonna have that, match kind of happen? And that's like a dream match, wasn't it? For a sense, right?
Well, here's a question for you:
Yeah,
do you put Joe on the Mania card?
definitely have to. Well, I was hearing that, of course, he was gonna feud with Triple H supposedly, because like they gave his whole
I'm
destroyer gimmick to him.
hearing that's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know if you've
He's
seen
supposed
what
to be
the
like a
reason.
hitman.
Yeah, you heard about the reason why they had him in a suit and tie and everything like that.
Well, besides the fact that he looks like a boss,
He looks like a
he's
fucking
supposed to
mafioso or
be
some shit. Yeah,
he's supposed to be Triple H's hitman.
yeah,
But if you
but
remember back in the TNA day,
mhm.
what was he? What was he in? He was in Main Event Mafia.
Yeah, made him a mafia. I guess they're trying to bring that back because it actually suits him. It actually suits him, that gimmick. But the destroyer, like, it's kind of interesting to see how that's gonna work. But I think
He was in
it's kind of
this.
interesting because
He
it's
was in
like,
the second Main Event Mafia, right?
yeah, he was in the yeah
He
he was
was
in the
in the
second.
original.
Mhm. Yeah, I think he was well, actually the first one I think he was like a hitman. The second one he was there like as a face and everything like that.
He was a boss.
Yeah, he was a boss and everything. But
Well, who was in it? It was Magnus, Joe, Sting.
yeah, it was a couple of people I think. I'm not, but because it's
Quentin
hard to tell.
Rampage Jackson,
Yeah, it was hard to tell. I think Desmond Wolf was in it. A whole
Kurt.
bunch. Yeah,
No, Desmond Wolf was in Fortune.
right. Yeah, they have the whole faction there and everything like that. I know. Like, of course, you can check that out at our factions podcast, which we have up on the YouTube page. So we've done that
What?
discussion there too.
Who else has it up? It's on the YouTube page. It's on
Yes.
Facebook. It's on Twitter.
I'm trying to find. I think it's on PWO too. This site called PWO. I'm checking on my YouTube page right here.
PWO.
PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion. I'm seeing right here, right?
Yes. It's a very, very well-known site.
Indeed, it is. Yes. But in-depth coverage, like I said, it's segment by segment, in depth. Like I said, he goes into every single detail. And if you
You
know,
could base
like
so you have to tell them the story.
I tell everybody all this time, I'm sitting in class, I can't watch the show. So what I do instead, I go and jump on PWO, open it up, and let's say if I want to see the latest thing for Lucha Underground, look it up, and basically I get to read in depth about what's going on, everything like that, in regard to the recent episode of Lucha Underground. And as I'm watching it, I start picturing in my head as I go home, and then right when I'm at home, watch all of a sudden I'm like, damn, this is actually full depth to depth. I caught up with it. So
And
thanks.
like I always say, Nick gives you such a in depth details. The only thing you can picture is what the wrestler is actually wearing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like I said, it keeps you up to date. So definitely check out PWO for Wrestling Opinion. But I mean, what about what's going on with this whole thing? Because think about this. Uh, they had Royal Rumble 2 weeks ago. As we're filming right now, they had the Super Bowl that passed this past Sunday, and now they're
Oh,
gonna
just
have
throwing it out there. Chris
yeah.
Jericho put Tom Brady on the list
He deserves to be on a list, I think. Yeah, because it's
because
like
he took Chris Jericho's nickname of the greatest of all time.
it makes no sense. It's like come on, and he's a five-time ring champ. Like he has a ring
He's
now,
a five-time
five
Super
rings.
Bowl champ, but Chris
There you go.
Jericho is the man of 1,004 holds.
And he's a Grand Slam champ nonetheless right now. So he's
Just
legendary.
remember, he has an armbar. He has
Yep.
another armbar. He
And
has
he has
the other
10,000 other
armbar.
variations. You already know. But I mean, it's still, it's like for example with that, it's kind of like
He's the first undisputed heavyweight champ of the world.
right, right. I mean, well,
He
here's one
beat
thing too.
Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night.
Yeah. So they had, of course, they had Royal Rumble this past I think 2 weeks ago, Super
Yeah,
Bowl this past week, and of course they got Elimination Chamber. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think WWE actually booked it perfect.
You think it's it feels kind of redundant, isn't it? Like it feels too early. I think they could have pushed this pay per view a little farther because
Yeah,
as the time we're filming right now, the Elimination Chamber is pretty much this Sunday, which is
they
kind of
could have
fast,
probably
isn't it?
pushed it back another year, week or so.
Another week, right, right. And of course they got Fastlane like I think 4 weeks from now, which is a pretty big gap.
That's why it would have been perfect. Push it back one more week.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like because let's say this Sunday happens, then next thing you know, when's the next pay per view? Until what? The
Mania.
next 3 weeks? Yeah, next 3 weeks for Fastlane, and then Fastlane from there
Because
is
if you
just
think about it,
Mania,
they really had no time to plan in between Rumble and Chamber.
right?
There's like no time in between.
Right. That's true. Well, let's talk about SmackDown for now, I guess, because I mean, clearly we can say, without a doubt, that SmackDown is probably the better brand. Wouldn't you say?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, it's like at this point, whenever I'm looking at like the previews and everything like that, like let's say if I'm like, I think this past week I missed Raw and SmackDown, unfortunately, and I'm thinking, okay, what's gonna be a bigger highlight? So I just popped
If
on, I was looking through,
if
and
Nick
I see the
was up to date, you could read about it on ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
definitely death by death, and death and everything like that. But
I
then
just
of course,
had to do a little cheap plug in because you had
you
like the
always got to
perfect
plug.
setup for it.
Always got to plug. Like I said, folks, you got to check it out. PWO.
Oh, not
There's
even
a
that.
reason.
You just not even that.
Yep.
You just had the perfect setup. You're like,
Yep. Yep.
unfortunately, I missed Raw and SmackDown.
There's a reason. Yeah. There's a
It was
reason, guys.
perfect.
Yep. There's a reason why we push this. Why we pushing PWO because this is a
That
legit
wasn't.
site. Like I said,
By the way, that wasn't. We didn't discuss that whole thing before the show
definitely
started. That
we
wasn't.
did not.
It was
That
just
was all
perfect.
natural. Yep. Yep. That was a straight shoot. So that's what it is.
You're
But
welcome, Nick.
yep, Nick. By the way, we got to keep up. I think he's still behind it, but he's still going on with it. But like I said, if there was a time, I would definitely go on to PWO, check it out, see what's going on. But looking at all the highlights and things like that, SmackDown is clearly the winner. Wouldn't you say? For sure, right?
Without a doubt. Even though the numbers don't show it,
Yeah.
just by booking wise and the way people react to it online,
Yep.
SmackDown blows it out.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's talk about the Elimination Chamber card, I guess, right now, because since that's pretty much all we got to talk about now.
Let's start it. Go match by
By the way.
match.
Well, here's an interesting thought. I'm hearing this. It's called Elimination Chamber. This pay per view for in the states, and in Germany it's called No Escape.
Really?
That's interesting. That's like wow.
That's actually really good.
Interesting. That kind of rolls off the
I
tongue.
actually
No
like
escape.
that.
No escape. I like that. But
I actually like that name. It's actually a
maybe they're
really
switching over to a
good
new name.
name.
Yeah. I think WWE should phase out all these kind of pay-per-view names. It makes no sense. It's like,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
yeah,
Elimination Chamber 2017, known as No Escape in Germany.
it's pretty dope. I like that name, No Escape. So from
Wow.
now on, we'll call it No Escape, I guess. So
Thank you, Germany.
Turkey and thank you, Germany, indeed. Like I said. Uh, but let's talk about pretty much the card right here. So of course,
About No Escape?
No Escape, No Escape. Yes, yes, for No Escape. But I mean, look at this card. Wouldn't you say this is much better than the average Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
Hell, if this was it, I'd take this over Raw any day. No lie. Like I'm looking more forward to SmackDown than Raw because it's like
With the exception of the Nikki Bella Natalia match.
oh my god. Well, we'll start off with that. It's I
I
think
don't
it's just
care who
redundant.
wins.
I think they're just trying to cause more of a thing where it's like Jerry Springer esque kind of thing. It's not
I
working
don't
though. I think.
I don't care who wins that match.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't really matter. I guess they're just trying to have this thing where Nikki Bella, and then that kind of leads into where I think where Maurice comes in and things like that. That can happen, or they might be stretching it out. You never know, so that might happen too. But
I really don't care.
what do you feel about this trash talking where they say "bitch" on TV? It's like they make a big deal out of it. It makes no
Well,
sense, right?
I know that Natty dressed up as Nikki last week, and then they basically dressed up as each other.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's kind of redundant. It's kind of like all right, fine, whatever. But you already know who's behind this, probably who's pulling the strings on this. It's got to be one guy that,
A
yeah,
beaver?
a Beaver that specifically is directing Total Divas, and is seeing his ratings plummet because he doesn't realize that Total Divas is a shitty show. So he keeps on promoting and saying, "Hey,
I
maybe
I
let's."
have to admit, when it first started, the first two seasons, it was good.
Well, I think, yeah, that's true. That's right. I mean, well, the reason I usually watch most times would just be to see what's backstage and things like that. That's it. I wouldn't pay attention to all the drama and things like that. I was like, you know what, whatever. That's it's what it is. But then, like to see backstage, that was a cool thing. But of course, it's like the ratings are low for that show, and he's going to this length where he's trying to build it up on the main roster, on the matches, and then of course on the pay per view.
He's basically
Makes no
trying to bring
sense.
it to real life.
Yeah, it's like somebody needs to drag him in and say Total Divas is a piece of shit. Draw the money out.
Someone has to drag him and be like, stop.
Yeah, be like, stop, stop. Like, just pull the plug on that shit. It makes no sense. Like, come on.
If you keep doing this, you're making the list.
And then he's gonna be like, oh, let's go ahead and make another Tough Enough. And be like, oh man, there's another face palm. Like, just shut the fuck up, Kevin. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But
You made the list.
yeah, he's trying to be that little puppy on a leash, just saying shit. But let's see. But then, so of course we said we don't give a fuck about that. Then after that, well, here's an interesting thing. Your girl, Alexa Bliss versus Naomi.
You
What are
know
your
who I'm
thoughts on
gonna
that?
say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I would say the same thing. Alexa Bliss,
Yep.
Alexa Bliss. So Alexa Bliss versus sort of like EDM, EDM Queen, should I say?
It's gonna be a
With
good match.
I mean, it's gonna be a good match and all. I think Naomi's a good wrestler, probably good performance, but in the end, Alexa Bliss is gonna hold the title for sure.
She's
But
gonna hold the
what do you
title
think?
for a long time.
Yeah, but what do you think is gonna be planned for her into Mania? I mean, of course, we all know probably that she's gonna walk out champ at Mania, but what do you feel like is gonna
Probably.
happen for Mania for her?
I think she's gonna hold it for a while.
You think she's gonna feud with Becky Lynch? Because of course this is probably gonna draw us into our next match: Becky Lynch versus Mickey James. Mickey James hasn't had her first match since 2010, I think, 2011. So,
Something like
what are your
that.
thoughts on that? And they're building
Well,
up pretty much to be a big match.
well, going back to the takeover she was in,
Yeah,
it doesn't even look like she lost a step in a WWE ring.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
It
well,
looks
there's
like
points
she
where I
didn't
think,
lose a step at all.
yeah, I think, well, there was points I think she
Because
was
you have to
kind of,
remember, like we said, she was in TNA for a couple
yeah,
years. She fought in GFW.
hmm
she lost a step. She was wrestling.
Right. Yeah. But do you feel like I think well in that match I think it was kind of like a ring rust. I'm not sure. I felt that way, but to have her up against Becky Lynch, it kind of feels like it's gonna build Becky. It's kind of how like how Jericho is kind of on the roster. They're not doing anything really pretty much big for him. It's just he's just making appearances, building other talent like Braun Strowman, for example. People like Roman, people like Owens. Just to build these talents. I think they kind of do the same thing with Mickey because it makes sense. I mean, she's the older person. Why not? Just give back to the business. So, hats off to you, Mickey James. But what are your thoughts on this? Who do you think is gonna win?
Between Mickey and Becky.
Yep.
I mean Becky. I don't know why. I think they're gonna put her over.
Yeah, I think Becky's
I don't
gonna
know
win.
why.
Yeah, just to put her over, I guess. Yeah, because I guess they're just trying to push something there. I mean, there's no stipulation, there's nothing on the line, so I guess people are just gonna be like, whatever,
It's
So
gonna be
like,
a singles match.
yeah. What about Luke Harper versus Randy Orton? Of course, we had this whole thing
I think
where
this has potential to be a match of the night.
really,
Yes, two phenomenal performers.
well, let me bring you back to the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, Luke Harper comes out, sides with both Orton and Wyatt and Bray Wyatt. Next thing you know, he hits Wyatt and he's teasing with the sister Abigail. Think about that. That was something surreal, right? That was like holy shit. The whole crowd went ape shit. Like, oh my god, he's actually gonna hit it. And that was kind of it was good for him, I think, right? What do you think?
I thought he, I was marking out. I thought he was actually gonna hit it.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna hit it too, but unfortunately he wasn't able to. But do you feel like this is gonna open up a new feud or probably possibly a push against Bray Wyatt?
I don't know because I can't really say nothing because this is in future. This is like in the rest of the show.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, well, I think they can get two things out of this. One, to develop the feud and make it more stronger, or they can just end the feud and say, you know what, let's just put Luke Harper over and regard his talent, and just make him, just
Fuck
just
it.
have Randy go over.
Fuck it. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
If you listen to the last podcast, I predicted up until WrestleMania,
yeah,
Bray's gonna win the Chamber. It's gonna be Bray versus Randy at Mania.
yep. That's right. I mean,
So
that's one thing.
this feud between Harper and Orton is gonna end.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end one chapter and then possibly move on to something else. I mean, think about this too. Eric Rowan, he was out of injury, right? He didn't show up for a while. So he's coming back. They said supposedly his timetable's up now. He's coming soon, right? He's coming back.
Within the next couple weeks, they said, because he's
I
at the performance center.
I feel like he's gonna come back at Elimination Chamber or No Escape. I think he's gonna come up at No Escape. I feel like he's gonna come up that night and maybe screw Harper and then possibly start a feud right there.
And that would actually be a very good feud. Two amazing performers,
Yeah, and it kind of builds up their own singles careers.
two
So
two athletic big men.
yeah, yeah,
Nevertheless,
right, right, and they could be feuding, and that's good. That works too. One heel, one face works just fine. But what about your
who would you put as
yeah?
the face though?
Either one. I think either one's good. I think both of them are developed at this point. Why not? Because of course, like you look at the Wyatts in 2014 and then the Wyatts now. What would you say right now? You probably say they came a long way, right?
Big time.
Big time, right, right. And it's kind of like it's good for both. Why not? Why not have that? But this kind of brings us back to this other thing. So of course, Rich, I know you got two favorites here. You got Alexa Bliss as your favorite for the champion, but you got another favorite too. Your boy's American Alpha. What are your thoughts on that match?
Hey,
That whole tag team turmoil match for the tag titles.
hey, baby, Alpha,
AA all day.
Alpha all day. I
AA all
love
day.
them.
Well, I think they could have done something better. They could have done something different with this. I think they should have done like a elimination chamber match with this. Just had the same thing that they had in 2014, where it was just two people in
I
a
like the
pod.
whole. I like it though.
Yeah,
The
but they're
gauntlet.
gonna have a tag team turmoil on that, so things are gonna be chaotic. There's gonna be a lot of spots. We all know that, but it's interesting. We're gonna see that and we're like, okay, it's gonna be good. Of course, I think this past Tuesday, uh, the what you call Fashion Police, Fandango and Tyler Breeze won that match. So that kind of is teasing something. Maybe they win the titles. You never know.
You
Uh,
remember who actually got the pin though?
Tyler, right?
No, the Ascension.
Oh, right. My fault. Yeah.
Connor
So
and
I think,
Victor, their first
yeah,
televised win
really,
in
right,
two
right. And this,
years.
didn't they break a streak? Did they broke a losing streak, right?
2 years.
Yeah. So I mean, they also got buried, of course, by JBL and them, and that whole segment where they're like, of course, the New Age Outlaws, and then everybody else, all the old tag teams, and they're like, they got the Greyhounds, they got this, who are the jackasses, and then they start attacking them. But I think they can definitely do something from there. You never know. I mean, do you
This
feel
could
like
be
there
the
should be
this
new?
could be the start.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like there's gonna be a new? Well, I think for sure. I hate to say this. I hate to disagree with you. I don't think American Alpha are gonna win. I feel like they're gonna lose the titles and then possibly they're gonna lose it to the Ascensions. You know.
I don't know. I think it's too early. It's still.
Well, you gotta think about this. They recently unveiled those new title belts, so they have to develop some kind of history. So I'm guessing they're gonna keep having this hot potato with the titles until there's like established kind of history. That way they can just leave it on somebody for a long time and then whatever. But again, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. What about this whole thing with Dolph Ziggler, should I say heel Ziggler, the real heel Ziggler, versus Kalisto and Apollo Cruz?
I think it's stupid.
I smell a turn coming. I smell a heel turn, another heel turn.
Cruz.
Maybe it can happen. I mean, we've seen what is it? Like Neville, he was a good guy, didn't work for him. I feel like it's the same thing with Cruz. It might happen. You never know.
Oh, that heel turn was so perfect.
But think about like look at
The
Neville. He
Neville
won.
one. The
Yeah.
Neville one was perfect.
Yeah, I think it's great. King of Cruiserweights, like he deserves it. He did this whole thing where he's attacking the cruiserweight division, won the title, became the king, literally, and it's good for his career. It's kind of building him up.
Well, for what
So,
I'm hearing, someone who is the greatest man to ever live got
right,
cleared.
yeah, to be in the cruiserweights, right?
And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be the greatest man who ever lived versus the king of cruiserweights at
At
Mania,
Mania, right. Well, they're
which will
saying that.
actually be perfect. You do kind of like a Money in the Bank with the
Yep.
cruiserweights,
I think they should be doing something because, of course, 205 Live isn't doing so well. So, in Vincent's eyes, at least, because he's like, oh, it's not
Vin-
getting people to watch the network,
according
or
to
whatever.
Vince doesn't know shit about the cruiserweights.
I think he's just putting too much pressure on it. He's acting like there's a TV deal, like there's sponsors, there's NBC watching over
There
their
is
their
none.
shoulders. There is none. It's on the network. That's the crazy thing. It's on the network. I don't understand. It's like he wants people to sign up after they see that, and it's like it's not gonna happen. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. It's gonna be big, but we have to take time with it. It's not gonna be 1, 2, 3. But then what about, of course? Let's talk about the last match of the night,
The match,
the match
the
with
no
these
escape
six
match.
guys. They got, of course, John Cena, the champion, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt for the title match at Elimination Chamber or the No Escape match in Germany.
Okay,
What are your thoughts
Cena.
on this?
Cena, well developed superstar.
Right,
AJ, phenomenal.
right.
That's the only word that we can use to describe him.
That's the best way to describe him.
Phenomenal. Dean, I think he's lost right now. You don't really have a story with him.
Right.
The Miz, greatest heel in wrestling right now.
I agree. I think he's developed. Yeah, that's true.
Corbin still could be worked on.
I think Corbin's underrated. Honestly, I think
No,
Corbin
no,
is
he's
underrated.
don't get me wrong. He's developed, but you can still develop him. You
I
can
beg to
develop
differ.
him to be. You can make him a great heel.
I beg to differ. I think he's an underrated personality. I think he has potential to become probably he can become champion this year. I think he will become the WWE champion this calendar year for sure. It's a guarantee because it's like
And you have
yeah,
Bray,
Bray Wyatt, right? I mean, with that
and
we
that's my pick to win the match.
Bray Wyatt. Well, picture this. I think this can go either one of three ways. They can have Bray Wyatt, of course, win and basically face off against Orton. That kind of opens it up, of course. Once
Which
Bray Wyatt
everyone would
wins,
love to see.
Yeah, I think everyone would love to see that. But I think it's going to take some time to develop that. It's not going to happen 1, 2, 3. So it kind of begs the question: is Orton going to turn to face Bray? Is Bray going to turn to face Orton? Are they going to turn on each other? What's going to happen? How are they going to do that? But I feel like they're going to go another way. I feel like they're kind of teasing that Bray's going to win. But in reality, I think
And
Cena's
if
going to win or
I
AJ
actually
Styles is
read
going to win.
something on a Vegas betting site,
Really.
Bray is plus 300 to win the chamber match.
So he's in the betting odds.
Yeah. The second is AJ at 175.
It can happen. I mean, well, here's one thing too. I think with AJ Styles, if they do have him win, it kind of sets up some kind of feud. Of course, it kind of sets something up for him. Because think about this. They keep having this whole thing where with AJ Styles trying to feud against Shane McMahon, right? Again, I think there needs to be a reason of why that's going
Which
to
I
happen.
actually wouldn't mind that though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that either. I think that would be a phenomenal match.
What I
No
personally
pun. No pun
think,
intended. Yeah.
which I personally think will be, is Miz facing Shane in defense of the whole Daniel Bryan shit with the Miz.
Well, I mean, we said I think from the beginning. I think John Cena and they're going for John Cena and Nikki Bella versus the Miz and Maurice, which I think is pointless. It's a piece of shit. But that I think what you're talking about that could definitely work too. Or have Daniel Bryan show up for that one night and face the Miz. Just finish it, kill it right there.
That could happen.
You never know. I mean, they keep saying that he's not ever gonna wrestle. That can change. You never know. So
You can't
that's
really say that because how many people were not going to fight anymore and they still come back?
yeah.
Triple
Look at
H
Ric
lost.
Flair.
Triple H lost 2 retirement matches.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yep. Yeah, it's true. I mean, with this, I think what I really want to see. I think everybody else wants to see this too. Is something very unexpected to happen. Maybe Dean wins and becomes a double champ. Maybe Corbin wins, becomes the big underdog that basically crowns everybody. Maybe have AJ Styles win and just continue that feud between John Cena, and then of course out of nowhere just build it up where Bray Wyatt and Orton have that kind of match. But you got to take into account, of course, they got what after this. They got how many weeks after this? Probably what they got
About
this
a
week.
month.
They got roughly a month and a half to build up for Mania. So in that time, they got to think how we're gonna make this, how we're gonna build this up. So you never know. I think for sure I agree. I think for sure the big favorite is probably Bray Wyatt. But I have a feeling I have I have this kind of feeling where they're gonna have Cena retain just to have him say that okay he won that match. Because think about this, he won what? He won in 2011. He won in I think 2010 and then 2009 also I think. Whenever he was in an elimination chamber
Less
match, he
than
always
two
won.
months.
Yeah, he won. He won like it's almost every single. I think he has a streak. Every elimination chamber match he's been in, he's always survived. New Year's Resolution 2006, he's survived that match, but he lost the title that same night. In 2010, he won the title, lost that same night to Batista. Same kind of deal might be happening here. You never know. Maybe there might be where John Cena wins, and then out of nowhere, Randy Orton comes out, RKO's him, wins the title right then and there, sets up the feud between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. That can happen. You never know. So it's unexpected. But I mean, what are your thoughts on this whole pay per view? What are your expectations from this whole pay per view?
Well, being the fact it's a SmackDown one, it's gonna be good.
They gotta kill this. I think they gotta knock this out of the park. Don't you think?
It's SmackDown.
SmackDown, right? Well, I mean, for Fastlane, think about this. For Fastlane, they're having. Of course, I think it's already penciled in. It's already actually written in stone. It's gonna be Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg for the belt. It kind of feels like
Just
there's
throwing out there.
yeah.
What
What are
was
your
my
thoughts on that
prediction?
though? Yeah,
What was my prediction though? That said is gonna happen.
yeah. You think it's gonna happen?
Has my sources been wrong?
I doubt it. No, no.
Has my sources ever been wrong?
No, they haven't. No, no, that's right. And at RSN podcast, you can check that out on Twitter. So if you feel like he's wrong, definitely go on there and check. He's very adamant to talk about that. So you can talk about that too, of course. So that's one thing. But before we wrap it up, let's talk about Fastlane. So we have, of course, this whole build up where Goldberg put himself on the list, and then of course Jericho accepting the challenge on his behalf this past week. What do you feel about that?
I'm not gonna lie, that whole
Yeah,
segment I thought was
yeah,
funny.
that was hilarious. I think that was great.
I thought that segment was funny. I was laughing.
I mean, I think we spoke about this before, where Owens, if he's ever put in this position where he's facing Goldberg, he has to put him over. Do you think he'll be able to go do a good job of putting him over? It kind of seems impossible, doesn't it?
Well, it's like we said it on the I don't know if it was the previous podcast or the one before,
Right.
which you can check out on our YouTube page, Facebook, Twitter, or this amazing site, ProWrestlingOpinion.com,
Right.
for your segment by segment, up to date moments in wrestling. You're welcome, Nick. Uh,
What
I
do you
think we
feel about
said, I think we said it's gonna be hard for Owens to try and put Goldberg over because Goldberg's a very stiff wrestler.
And do you think he'll be able to last for more than 5 minutes in this?
Goldberg?
Because I know,
No.
yeah, because think about this. I think WWE's done many different kinds of pieces where they've talked about Goldberg and like in the Rise and Fall DVD and everything like that. They talk about how he can't fight in a 15-minute match. It's hard for him because all
And
he
if you
knows is
look
pretty
at
much
it,
jackhammer, spear,
what was
and that's
his
it.
last
Yeah,
match that lasted more than 10 minutes?
I say against Triple H, right? Probably
No,
Triple H,
that
or
hor
probably Elimination Chamber.
that horrible WrestleMania match. That was his last
Oh,
match
right.
that lasted more than 10 minutes. It
And
lasted
this guy
12 minutes and 6 seconds.
and the real five moves of doom. It's like, can he really perform for more than 5 minutes in that match? It kind of seems like they're gonna have this kind of thing where Goldberg wins, and in a record time beats Goldberg, Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens ends up getting screwed by Chris Jericho right in the get go, and that causes pretty
Which
much.
I think that would be good because that could set up best friend versus best friend.
That's right. Just like how they've been saying, they want best friend versus best friend. It makes sense to have that. Do you feel like Jericho's gonna have the U.S. title still in his hand by Mania?
Does he have a match yet?
No, I don't think.
Does he have a match at Fastlane?
Fastlane, I don't think. No, they didn't announce anything
I think
yet.
the only match is just Goldberg Owens, right?
Yep. It kind of feels like they're gonna have Roman fight Jericho and win the title back, which is gonna be I think the worst thing they can do. It's like, come
So
on,
far, the
really?
only matches for Fastlane it's Owens versus Goldberg, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, and Neville versus Jack Gallagher.
Maybe a new face. Maybe Samoa Joe comes in and takes the U.S. title. I hope that happens, but we'll have to see.
Possibly. Or
Or how
Sammy.
about this? How about this? They open up.
I'll
We heard
take
that.
Sami Zayn winning.
I think Sami Zayn he'd be a good fit for the U.S. title. I think that'd be good too. Um, what about Shinsuke
Hasn't held the
Nakamura?
ti- he hasn't held the title yet on the main
Yeah,
roster.
that's true. That's right. What about Shinsuke Nakamura? Let's say he comes up at Fastlane. Big
No,
surprise.
he has a
Versus
match
Jericho.
at Toronto.
Well,
He
I
has a
think that's
match in Orlando.
yeah. Well, he has a. Well, here's one thing. I think. Wouldn't you agree that this is a dream match? Jericho versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah,
That'd be a dream match, right?
and Jericho is known for, well, he's not really new.
Hmm.
WWE.
Well, he's known for the Japanese, like he's done Japanese wrestling and things like that. So it'd be good to see that at least. That's something I think everyone would like to see. Nonetheless, for the U.S. title, that'd be cool too. So that can happen. But I mean, nonetheless, I think we pretty much covered everything today. But nonetheless, this is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the Mastermind Sal. We got the big guy
Before
Rich.
before we go, we have
Ah,
to tell everyone about for the millionth time about our other social media. You
yes,
can
yes.
check
So
us out on Twitter, which I
yeah,
run at RSN Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, which Sal runs.
Right.
I don't think there's a link. I just think you just type in RSN Wrestling Podcast,
Yeah.
probably.
Unfortunately, we don't got a link unless Of course, we're asking you guys if you can, please subscribe to us. That way, we can get that link and set you up. Because right now at this point, it's a bunch of numbers and letters. So I don't know if we should say that right in the air. I don't know if you have a pen or paper to write that down or whatever. But
It's
like I
too
said,
many. Just type in RSN Wrestling Podcast.
right in the search bar, RSN Wrestling Podcast, and that's where you can see
You can
all our
check it.
different podcasts. Right?
Yep. You can check us out on Facebook, which me and Sal both co-run,
Right.
and so does Nick.
Hmm.
And then you could check us out on Google Hangouts,
Yep.
SoundCloud. I don't know. Just type in RSN Wrestling Podcast, probably. I don't know.
Right. Right. But a very
Or you,
exciting time.
or you could check us out on the best segment by segment, up to date wrestling website. It covers WWE, TNA, ROH, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, even the little guys such as America's Most Like Wrestling, West Coast Wrestling Connection. There's probably other ones I forgot. But it's
Right.
run by a very, very, very educated person in wrestling. Would you like to tell them who it is?
Yes. Yes. We should. Yep. It is the. There's only one. The Nick Lopez. Like I
You're
said.
welcome, Nick. I think you would actually like that one, so you're welcome.
Yep. The Nick Lopez runs PWO ProWrestlingOpinion.com. Definitely check that out for sure. But I guess we can wrap it up from here. We'll see you guys out.
See you guys.